Humans, get in here. I am the herald. Of the gods. Yeah, look at it. Look at it. Look at me. Yeah. And welcome to the Culture Guys channel with your boy, Mike Nix. Yo, we got some good news, baby. My boys are back. Marlon, Sean, the Wayans family have announced that they are jumping back on and taking ownership of the Scary Movie franchise. It's about goddamn time. If you don't know, if you didn't know, if you were hiding under a rock somewhere, you just didn't give a fuck, or you're too young, because I know Scary Movie, the franchise started like probably 20 years ago. But Scary Movie was a parody movie franchise based off of Scream and some of the, I want to say like late 90s, early 2000s kind of teenage angst horror movie genre. It was based off of that, but it was all funny and jokes and shit. And story goes, basically, Marlon and Sean, they wrote that movie, and the first two were very successful. And when it was time to do the third one, if you don't know, but Miramax, which was the studio that basically housed the movies, was ran by Harvey Weinstein. And by now, you should know what's up with the Weinsteins, right? If you don't know, quick Google search. Him and his brother Bob, they own Miramax. And when it was time to do the third one, basically they didn't want to give Marlon and Sean what they were worth. When they came to the table, the first two were beyond successful. So when it was time to do the third one, they lowered the amount that they were going to give them to do the movie. Basically, they want to offer them the same amount to do the third one as they offered them on the first one. But that's not how franchises work if they're leapfrogging each other in success. You know what I'm saying? Imagine, by the time Avengers Endgame gets here, if Disney and Marvel is offering these guys like, oh, we're just going to offer you the same amount to shoot this movie as we did Iron Man 1. Yeah, you look at him like, what the fuck is you talking about? No, we need all our bread. We need all of our coins right now. So that's basically what happened. And since they couldn't come to agreement, Harvey Weinstein, old bitch ass, took Marlon and Sean's original idea for Scary Movie 3, kicked Marlon and Sean off the project, and stole everything. So go back and watch Scary Movie 3. That was all written by Marlon and Sean, or most of it. And Marlon and Sean didn't get no credit for that. They had nothing to do with the movie itself. They just took their ideas and ran with it. When Marlon goes off and does, I want to say, he does Scary Movie 5. Not Scary Movie 5. So he goes and does Haunted House. Now, remember Haunted House came out, and remember it was Marlon's movie. And at the time, they were trying to do Scary Movie 5. The whatever studio, Miramax, the Weinstein Company, whatever they was trying to do. And they tried to pull Marlon in to try to ask him for some tips to help write the movie, give him some ideas. And they wanted to take Marlon's idea for Haunted House and use that as Scary Movie 5. He said, hell no, because once again, they couldn't come to agreement. They didn't want to pay him what he was worth. So they went on and did that terrible ass movie without him. He went and did Haunted House, was very successful. And Scary Movie 4 and 5 just bombed. It was like they tried to have the formula of the first two Scary Movies or whatever, the first three, but without the actual creatives. And what do I always say on this channel? Artistic integrity above all else. You have to respect the artist. If it's the artist's vision, you don't steal from them. You don't plagiarize. You don't do none of that shit. And hold on a second, let me turn down this goddamn bright ass light here. But this is what happens when you don't have the original artist in the project that you're working on and you steal. You don't do that shit. I always talk about that. That's the most important thing, because that's the heart and the soul of any artistic piece, project, event, whatever it is. The original artist that came up with it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So Marlon and Sean, this is a big victory, and this is a big, big deal for so many reasons. If you haven't seen lately, Marlon has been on a run, man. The last 2 years, Marlon, that boy, has been holding down the Wayans family. He's been holding down the name for since COVID, I'd say. You know what I'm saying? They started out with In Living Color. I've been a big fan of the Wayans brothers since, In Living Color, before we even knew who the Wayans were, with Keenan Ivory Wayans and Sean and Damon Wayans. And that's how they kicked it off, in the 90s. And then, movie after movie. And then Kim Wayans too. Their family is just so talented. They are black royalty, black entertainment royalty in Hollywood, as far as I'm concerned. Actually, as far as a lot of people are concerned, and they stick by each other's side. And that's one thing that, me and my brothers used to watch the Wayans brothers growing up as kids. I know a lot of people, as I got older, used to shit on the Wayans brothers show, Marlon and Sean show, like it was just trash. But the Wayans brothers was fucking hilarious, man. I don't know what y'all was talking about. That shit was fire. But me and my brothers growing up as kids, we were so tight. We were like, we're still tight. But, we just looked toward to the Wayans family, the brothers, especially because of just how tight they were. We admired that. And, we hated when the Wayans brothers got canceled, but to see them go on and do movies, it was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, they doing their thing, and the Hollywood's listening to them, and they're writing these scripts themselves, and they're putting themselves to, in these movies and bringing each other along the way. I just heard a story about, Chris Rock and Tony Rock, and how Tony Rock was kind of bothered by the fact that Chris Rock was in all these big budget movies but never asked to put Tony in any of them. You know what I'm saying? But beside the point, it's just really dope to see, some of my favorite actors, comedians growing up that really inspired me as a black man in America to, be creative and do your thing and have your voice heard and put your art out there to the world, for the world to see, and not be marginalized and not feel like you have a ceiling that you have to hit every time. It's just really dope. Love the Marlon interview on Club Shay Shay. I think, his comedian interviews have been going off since Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? I think his interview is probably the third highest comedian interview on Club Shay Shay, man. I suggest y'all go check it out. It's a really good interview, man. A really good sit down. They had some real good conversation. And it gives you a little insight on the Wayans family that you probably never really heard about in a serious tone, not like on stage telling jokes about each other, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, all I got to say is I'm excited. It was really dope to see that. I can't wait to see it. I hope y'all are excited too. If not, that's cool too. Even if you're not going to go see it, it's just, for me, it's good to see this franchise back in the hands of the creators that it belongs to, the artists that came up with the idea. And, it's a win for the artists. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all pull up in the next video. Don't do it for me. Do it for the gods.